Hello and welcome, my friends and viewers, to this week's episode of Legendlore, where I draw and talk about monsters, characters, gods, and other things from D&D 5th edition, all while giving a small but quickly digestible history about them. Together we'll go over their origins within the game, how they're utilized in the modern edition, and how you guys can utilize them in your own games. This week we will be looking at Gelugons, or as they are more commonly known as, Ice Devils, the strange insectoid cold-inclined warrior cousins of other devils in the Nine Hells. Ice Devils were insectile bipeds with blue and white carapaces standing at about 10 feet tall and weighing around 700 pounds. Their hands and feet ended in massive claws, and their long lizard-like tails were covered in spikes, while their insectoid heads hosted a set of antennae, mandibles, and a pair of multifaceted eyes. These eyes were capable of seeing in total darkness and seeing the ultraviolet spectrum, allowing them to be able to see invisible creatures. Gelugons were masterful combatants that fought their enemies with their claws, pincers, tails, and also normal weaponry. Ice Devils were also always surrounded by an aura of numbing cold that slowed down those who struck them, as well as those they struck. And they could also exude a supernatural fear that caused the most weak-willed foes to flee. They were also capable of regenerating their limbs and wounds when not under immediate attack, meaning that they could always come back if you don't finish the job. Ice Devils also wielded several magical abilities such as flight, summoning other weaker devils for assistance in combat, and ice and cold manipulation, being renowned and mostly known for their ability to create walls of ice to use in various strategic ways. In terms of Ice Devil culture, they held an incredible resentment for weakness and respected only the powerful, regardless of their loyalties. They begrudgingly cooperated with weaker devils out of necessity, but only used them as pawns or a subject for abuse out of their own frustration. This obsession with power created an ironclad loyalty, respect, and fear for devils higher than them in rank and power, especially for the Pit Fiends, their direct superiors. While Ice Devils still schemed to obtain souls for themselves and their masters, they avoided complex plans in favor of more immediately applicable strategies. Ice Devils were also the only native devils of the frigid, eternally cold layer of Cania, and always found colder climates to be more hospitable than hot ones despite their immunity to fire. On the other hand, the humid bogs of Mineros and the molten plains of Phlegethos were both physically and visually hard for the Ice Devils to reside in, as the heat and gases can overwhelm their sensing of ultraviolet light. A great number of Ice Devils also populated the icy expanse of Stygia, with a regiment of them being stationed on icy rafts to eternally defend and serve as the wardens of the frozen tomb of the archdevil Levistus. Gelugons tirelessly pursued promotion, always working to accomplish their missions and collect as many souls as possible for their masters. Simply making it onto the list of candidates for promotion required a Gelugon to serve for 777 consecutive years without making a single mistake or having any failures. To further state the devout loyalty and effectiveness of the Ice Devils, Asmodeus' fortress of Mal'Sheem within the layer of Nessus had only one portal entrance located at the bottom of a deep pit within Cania. That pit is solely defended by a legion of 9,999 Ice Devils at any given time. Alongside Pit Fiends, Ice Devils were the most adept at wizardry, often sacrificing versatility in favor of mastering usage of cold spells. Furthermore, due to the Devil's innate vulnerability to electricity, experiments were actually done on the Ice Devils by other devils in hopes of making them stronger against such attacks. Some success was found, but at the cost of reducing these Ice Devils' cold radiation, while others caused the opposite effect and bore Ice Devils that shed blizzard-like auras but were extremely vulnerable to lightning. In the ancient past, the Ice Devils were actually originally a race of mercenary fiends similar to Mesoloth daemons, but the archdevil Mephistopheles managed to trap them in a kind of perpetual state of servitude, and turn them into permanent denizens of the Nine Hells under the infernal caste system. Further abuse of the Ice Devils by Mephistopheles includes being driven to the fringes of their frozen domain due to his obsession with developing a new form of magical hellfire. Their self-imposed exile, combined with Mephistopheles' favoring of Pit Fiends as his servants, has caused them to develop an aggression towards any who supported or encouraged his behavior. Finally, an Ice Devil that truly earned their promotion was subjected to the hellfire of the Pit of the Flame for 1,001 days of pure agony, allowing them to shed their cold form and be reborn as a Pit Fiend. When running Ice Devils in combat, if they are not in the strategic position of leading other devils into battle, they will viciously attack what they perceive to be the weakest foe out of the group, which can vary depending on what your personal Ice Devil prizes. A martial Ice Devil may despise spellcasters and seek out your wizards first, while a cunning caster Ice Devil may seek to immobilize and kill your fighters first. The typical combat strategy for an Ice Devil and their legion was to freeze the front line first, keeping them rooted in place while they sped around to strike at the softer enemies, as well as prevent those weaker foes from being able to escape from either side. Despite their effectiveness in combat, however, Ice Devils will not fight for the sake of fighting. They are focused on accomplishing goals, especially those set by their superiors, and will only engage in battle if it is the necessary course, or if they believe it'll be an easy victory. Because of the important nature of their work as Hell's generals and high-level warriors, it was possible that a Pit Fiend could arrive to their aid, which could risk a future punishment of the Ice Devil by that same Pit Fiend. Also, this makes the Ice Devil, in my opinion, the least likely to actually go into the material plane and make deals with mortals, as they seem keen to better themselves purely by their servitude within the 9 Hells and wherever their superiors may send them. I personally enjoy using Ice Devils as high-level introductory villains, using their Wall of Ice ability to either cut off or separate party members, making them easier to attack using the divide and conquer method. You can also have them conjure a wall in a ring and trap all players inside, before letting their archers pelt them with arrows and throwing weapons with no hope of escape. I've even had Ice Devils use their Wall of Ice to swat a flying wizard out of the sky by having it emerge from the ceiling, crushing them into the ground for a particularly good scare. In terms of Ice Devils as characters or NPCs, here's a few ideas that I've developed that I would like to use in the future that you guys can steal for your games. First off, we have the concept of the Ice Devil Monk. The Ice Devil's penchant for unarmed combat or using spears and staves makes me think about monks. And so you can have an Ice Devil Monk General, armed with all the innate strength of being an Ice Devil alongside their powers of a monastic focus. You can take the simple 4 elements monk and use only cold spells, or reskin it only for cold damage, or you can do something a little more interesting. The Way of the Long Death could be flavored as sapping warmth from your enemies, and the Way of the Astral Self could be your Ice Devil literally conjuring giant limbs out of ice. You can also use this approach with classes like Eldritch Knight Fighters or Stormhill Barbarians, but for me the monk is my go-to. And now for a more intellectual Ice Devil villain, we have the Ice Devil Wizard, in which this one has explored the avenues of both wizardry and strategy over martial prowess. They are absolutely capable of outsmarting the PCs, being able to predict their plans, and poking holes within their own strategies, and can be outfitted with a strong magical power via wizardry that is either self-taught or learned by their Pit Fiend masters as a gift for their service. I would personally pick the Abjuration, Divination, Evocation, and War Magic schools. Abjuration and War Magic for relentlessly counterspelling your players, and to give the Ice Devil some tanking potential. Divination would allow the Ice Devil to infuse their infernal will upon the players, and force their spells and attacks to fail using Portent. And finally, Evocation for a more explosive battlefield general who can immunize some of his own troops to his widespread spell attacks. And finally, just to give you guys a little bit more variety over just character concepts, Ice Devils have a variety of cool quests and roleplay potential that they can use to either give to the party or take on themselves, which will put them in conflict with the party. For instance, Ice Devils hilariously dislike Mephistopheles, mainly due to his entrapment and constant abuse of them. So you can have an Ice Devil task the party to act as a third-party assault by either foiling one of the Archdevil's plans or stealing something of value to him. This allows the devil to indirectly harm Mephistopheles without risking his own position, and this could extend to even higher level missions, especially once the party starts going multiplanar. You may even lead an Ice Devil revolt by introducing some of their Mesoloth cousins to inspire the idea of freedom and rebellion. The 9 Hells losing the Ice Devils means that they lose one of the key parts of their military might, and the lead up to this as well as its after effects could be a campaign in and of itself. And then next we have an Ice Devil who could be a member of a battalion guarding Levistus' tomb, who could be hearing whispers from the imprisoned Archdevil, and could task the party with aiding him in freeing Levistus in exchange for power. Likewise, the party could either turn him into the Legion to curry favor with the other Legions of Hell, or help him to curry favor with Levistus. This could go well for your Fiend Warlocks or for your Levistus Tieflings. And then finally, for our magic item this evening, we have Mercury Weapons and Armor. Less of an actual item and more a material to make weapons out of. I originally found this idea on the internet, but I cannot track the original source, so I've included the Reddit article covering the entire idea in the description below. But the main idea is that mercury, due to its low melting temperature, can be an ideal material for Ice Devils to make weapons out of, especially with their level of hardness once it is frozen. They could poison those that are struck with them, and if the enemy manages to steal weapons or armor made out of this, we'll be particularly surprised when it immediately melts upon leaving the chilly region of the Ice Devils, and causes vicious mercury poison. From a mechanical standpoint, mercury spearheads and arrows would break off and melt once they strike the target, shriveling from the body heat and dealing 1d8 poison damage each round until the party manages to secure some form of healing to end it. As I said before, I've included the entire Reddit article covering this idea in the description below. It is not originally mine, but I definitely love to use it. And that's the Ice Devil, everybody. Thank you guys all for watching and for being patient with my videos. And if you guys like the series, please like, comment, and share and subscribe. And press the little bell icon if you want to be notified of all videos and updates every Sunday morning. I also do want to announce that I have opened up a Redbubble store, so you guys can check out the link below if you guys want to get this piece and other pieces from past videos as prints, stickers, mousepads, t-shirts, and a bunch of other really cool stuff. Every little bit helps to support the channel and help me continue to make better and better videos for you guys. And if you're not really keen on picking up any merch, I also have a coffee if you guys want to make a one-time donation. And if you guys want to vote on the subject of the next video, please follow me here and vote on the polls every Sunday. And also please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and other social media to see all the other projects that I'm working on. And finally, please, I want to know how you guys have used or encountered ice devils at your tail, so please let me know in the comments, as well as what other things you guys would like to see me cover in future videos. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.